Eloise here today for Lawnfawn and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a last minute Christmas card video to share with you all. I'm going to be utilizing all of the little images in all of these stamp sets to create some image wreaths. This is a really fun thing to do and they're very easy to mass produce, and I just thought it would be a great idea for some last minute Christmas cards. But of course you could always change up all of the images that you use and create this card for any time of your life, for Valentine's or for birthday cards, whatever small images that you have. I just thought it'd be really fun to do for Christmas cards, since wreaths are generally for around the Christmas time. So I am going to start off with creating like my fake wreath, I guess. So I've just gone ahead and taken the Stackables dies, and I've just taken like the second largest one and then like the fourth largest one. I just wanted there to be quite a decent gap in between the ones that I used, and then I just went ahead and ran them through my Big Shot machine, so I have this basic wreath shape. And I'm not actually going to be using this wreath shape, I'm just going to be using it as a guide to where to stamp my images, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut down 4 panels of white cardstock. These just measure 4 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. I am going to make them a little bit skinnier later on, but for now that's what I'm going for. I've then just gone ahead and added a little bit of removable adhesive onto the back of this wreath, and now I'm placing it down onto my white plain piece of cardstock that is placed into my MISTI. And this is what's going to make it really easy to mass produce these cards. Literally you could just make however many you want. I am only making 4, but you know, all you have to do is stamp multiple times and more and you'll have lots more cards. So it's super fun and a really great way to make some last minute Christmas cards if you need a few more. So I'm just pulling out all of the small images from the stamp sets that I pulled out earlier. All of them will be listed down below and also at the blog if you want to use the same ones that I did. And then I'm just going to lay them all on top of that like faux wreath that we made before. Then I'm going to pick up all the images with my MISTI stamping tool, remove the faux wreath, and then I'm going to stamp down it twice onto the white panel, just so I get a really dark image, since lots of images are being stamped at once. And you can see here, now that I've stamped down twice, it's starting to look a little bit like a wreath. Of course I need to fill in the like blank spaces afterwards, but I'm going to do that now. So I've just gone ahead and stamped all of those images onto my 4 panels of white cardstock, and then so I know where to place the rest of my images, I just traced around that faux wreath once again with a pencil, and then added in additional images into the blank spaces. They're basically just the images that I did use before, and I just stamped them down twice again to fill in the gaps. So here they are all finished, and now I am just erasing my pencil lines so they don't show up on my final card. But you can see here that they're super cute Christmas wreaths with lots of different images, and they are all in like this like same shape that you would want for a wreath, and that was using the help of that guide that I made earlier. So this is a really fun way to use lots of your smaller images. Now that I have stamped them all down and they are all ready to go, I'm going to use my Copic markers to colour these guys in. So if you wanted to make this probably a little bit more quicker, I would recommend watercolour rather than Copics, just because you generally can use like one colour to create like all of the shading. So that might go a little bit quicker for you, but since I had a little bit more time, I decided to use Copics just because these are what I'm most comfortable with, and especially with small images, I do find them a lot easier to use. So I'm just going through and picking out trios of my favorite colors and coloring in lots of sort of like the same colored images at the same time. And that is also a trick for when you're mass producing. If you color in all of the yellow items at once, you don't have to re-pull your markers out, and it just saves a little bit of time. I did go for quite like Christmassy colors, like I didn't pull any like purples or pinks in. I really wanted it to be mainly traditional. I mean, I did pull in this aqua sort of color, but that's more so just because I wanted to mix it up just a little bit, and also I really wanted to add an additional color in for a color of card base that I will use a little bit later on for like the bases. So that's what I'm going to do. So I just use some reds, and then I use some greens, I use some yellows, and then of course I use the aquas. Now I'm coloring in like the gingerbread men and the teddy bears with the same browns, keeping it really simple. I only used like one trio of green, one trio of red, one trio of like aquas, etc., just to make it again really super duper easy. Same for the greys. I'm colouring in majority of the images with the same greys, so I'm using darker W greys for like the tops of the scissors and the sticky tape and things like that, and then I'm going to use a lighter grey for like the metal pieces, I guess, like of the scissors, and like for the additional pieces on the hats to make them appear more white, and on the Christmas and nice lists as well. And then that finishes up all of the colouring of my images. I really love just the simplistic look, and also if you wanted to save some more time as well, you could easily just colour in the one image with just one colour and not do any shading or anything like that. I really don't think people would mind, and I think it's still going to look great as well. So now that all of my wreaths are coloured in, I did finish the rest of them up off camera just to save a little bit of time in the video, but I just did like assembly line and coloured all the yellows in at once, all the greens in once, all the reds in once, just to make it a little bit easier. Now it's time to stamp my sentiments. So I am going to be using the Winter Scripty Words stamp set. This is one of my favourite Christmas sentiment sets, and I think it's because there are coordinating dies which make it super duper easy, because you can add foam tape and have it sort of like more as an afterthought. Even though my sentiment wasn't as an afterthought, I really love just like the stamped sentiment that can be die cut out, so that's what I wanted to do. So I went ahead and added a little bit of foam tape onto the backs of the sentiments, and then adhered them into the center of the card base. Now I am going through and making up some card bases. So I used lawnfawn cardstock in chili pepper, peacock, cilantro and sunflower, just to match the colors that I used with my Copic coloring, and adhered all of the panels onto card bases. Then for a very last finishing touch, I made them look a little bit more like a wreath, and added the little bow die cut out in coordinating colours of the card bases from the Baaah Humbug stamp set, and adhered them onto the very tops of the cards, or on top of the wreath I should say. So that finishes up my 4 very quick and simple cards today. Literally the thing that took the most time was the colouring, but overall these are super duper cute and great last minute additions to your Christmas card collection. So thank you so much for stopping by today. I really hope that you were inspired and you enjoyed my video today. All of the supplies and things will be listed down below and over at the blog post, and I'll catch you all in the new year. Thanks so much for watching.